Having traversed the magnificent landscapes of divine mercy, cosmic lordship, and ultimate accountability, the seeking soul now arrives at the sacred inner sanctum of Surah Al-Fatiha. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. This pivotal verse marks a profound transition in human consciousness, moving away from talking about the Creator in the third person to directly speaking to Him in an intimate, face-to-face heart connection. In the science of Tasawwuf and spiritual elevation, this verse is recognized as the ultimate covenant of the heart, the exact point where intellectual recognition transforms into a living, breathing reality of divine devotion. By placing the word iyaka, meaning you alone, at the absolute beginning of the phrase, the Quran establishes an uncompromising boundary of exclusive focus, stripping away all secondary causes, worldly dependencies, and hidden idols. The human heart was created to be the sacred throne of divine presence, but as we navigate the noisy material world, it easily becomes cluttered with the false gods of wealth, social approval, human validation, and the subtle arrogance of the ego. When the seeker utters, "You alone we worship," they are consciously performing a profound internal cleansing, sweeping away every distraction until nothing remains in the sanctuary of the heart except the one true beloved. True worship, or ibadah in its highest spiritual sense, goes far beyond the mechanical execution of outward physical rituals. It is a state of total, loving surrender, where every heartbeat, every breath, and every intention is oriented entirely toward pleasing the Creator. It is the moment where the lower self, the nafs, surrenders its demands, allowing the pure ruh to step forward and fulfill its eternal destiny of experiencing closeness to Allah. To truly awaken spiritually, the seeker must realize that the greatest veil standing between the soul and marifat, the deep, direct knowledge of God, is the illusion of self-sufficiency. The ego constantly tricks us into believing that our achievements, our intelligence, and our spiritual progress are the products of our own strength, creating a subtle wall of pride that blocks the inflow of divine light. This is precisely why the divine wisdom pairs "you alone we worship" immediately with "and you alone we ask for help," establishing an essential spiritual balance that protects the seeker from self-righteousness. By confessing "Iyaka nasta'in," we drop all spiritual pretense, humbling ourselves before the Almighty and recognizing that we cannot take a single pure step, utter a single sincere prayer, or resist a single temptation without His explicit grace. This declaration of absolute helplessness is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it is the secret key that unlocks limitless divine strength, because when a vessel empties itself of pride, it is instantly filled with the radiance of divine assistance. In the language of the spiritual masters, real power is found not in mastering the world, but in total, humble reliance, Tawakkul, upon the master of the world. Notice the breathtaking harmony between these two spiritual poles. "You alone we worship" demands our absolute internal effort, focus, and dedication, while "and you alone we ask for help" grounds us in absolute surrender, recognizing that the results rest entirely in His hands. This dynamic protects the seeker from two lethal spiritual diseases. It cures passivity by demanding active worship, and it destroys arrogance by attributing all capability to the divine. The choice of the plural form, "we worship" and "we ask for help," is a subtle reminder that the journey of inner purification is not an isolated selfish pursuit, but a shared experience that connects us to all seeking souls across time and space. When you stand in prayer and speak these words, your individual voice merges into a vast, cosmic chorus of creation, all turning in unison toward the single source of life and light. As we deepen our spiritual journey, Iyaka Na'budu becomes the ultimate filter through which we examine our daily existence, constantly asking whether our actions are driven by genuine devotion or by the hidden desires of our lower self. It forces us to refine our motives, ensuring that our kindness, our prayers, and our silence are all performed purely for the sake of the divine, untouched by the desire for human applause. When a heart genuinely internalizes Iyaka Nasta'in, it develops an unshakable inner peace that cannot be disturbed by the chaotic storms of worldly trials, loss, or hardship. The seeker stops begging from the creation and turns directly to the Creator, knowing that every human being is inherently needy, and only the uncaused cause can truly fulfill the longings of the soul. This state of spiritual freedom transforms a person's presence in the world. They walk upon the earth with gentle humility, yet possess an inner majesty that cannot be intimidated by worldly authority or swayed by material temptations. They have realized that the ultimate goal of human existence is not to accumulate temporary worldly possessions, but to polish the mirror of the heart so brightly that it reflects the beautiful attributes of its maker. Every time you recite this verse in your daily prayers, treat it as a sacred renewal of your spiritual vows, consciously inviting the divine light to illuminate the hidden corners of your mind and soul. Allow the truth of these words to dissolve your anxieties, melt away your doubts, and anchor your spirit firmly in the serene ocean of divine presence. For the soul that has truly tasted the sweetness of exclusive worship and absolute reliance, the world ceases to be a place of chaotic struggle and becomes a sacred mirror, revealing the beauty, majesty, and oneness of the Beloved. May Allah grant us the ultimate grace of sincere devotion, purify our hearts of all subtle idolatry, and allow our souls to rest completely in the peaceful shelter of His absolute presence.